Back home now, let's take you live to our reporters for more on the national response to COVID-19. Firstly to Charlotte Mortlock in Sydney. And Charlotte, the number of cases across Australia has now increased to 100.
Yeah, this is concerning because just a week ago it was about a third of that. We had 33 cases across the country, so it's quickly spreading the coronavirus right across the country. The New South Wales Education Department is working to urgently try and implement different policies they can to try and mitigate the risk of the spread of coronavirus. We know that 55 of those cases are now in New South Wales, with 8 fresh cases being diagnosed overnight. Now, one of the cases that, one of the policies that has been implemented is that any student or a teacher at a school, if they are diagnosed with coronavirus, that school will be placed in lockdown. Now, that's the case here at Willoughby Girls High on the North Shore of Sydney. At the moment, it is closed after a Year 7 student was diagnosed with coronavirus yesterday. Her mother also testing positive for the disease.
My understanding is that all of the students do have a family member who also had the COVID-19, and again that's what health works through now. They look at close contacts of that students, but my understanding is there is a link in terms of their family.
St Patrick's Morris College in Dundas in Western Sydney also is closed today after 2 Year 10 boys were diagnosed with the disease. Now, interestingly, here in Willoughby, the Girls High and the primary school actually share the same block. They're adjoining to one another, and despite the close proximity, the public school is open today.
Charlotte Mortlock live in Sydney. Thank you. Now to Patrick Murrell, who's outside of Melbourne School, which closed its doors after a senior teacher tested positive to coronavirus. And Pat, this is the first case of local transmission in Victoria.
Ash, the first 15 cases of coronavirus detected in Victoria were all contracted overseas before being imported here, mainly from China, Iran and the United States. This 16th case, a teacher, is the first local transmission, but it's unlikely to be the last. And it's reported that at least 2 students here are now being tested for coronavirus. Carey Baptist Grammar in Melbourne's east has become the first school in Victoria to shut its doors over a coronavirus outbreak. One of the state's top schools. It's usually buzzing with the activity of more than 2,000 students at this time of day, but at the moment it's a ghost town. It's understood the teacher concerned is a senior teacher who contracted the virus after coming into close household contact with another patient who already had it and had recently returned from overseas. This patient, it's understood, was a passenger on the same flight as Toorak doctor Chris Higgins, who brought the virus back from the United States to Victoria when he became the state's 11th case. As I said, this is the first local transmission in Victoria, but it's unlikely to be the last. The school is now working to retrace that teacher's steps and work out which pupils and which other teachers have had contact with them.
We are now going through the process of mapping the spread of the potential spread of the virus within the school, with a view to then making contact with families and identifying anyone who could have been impacted.
Parents are being told that students as well as teachers who are experiencing flu-like symptoms should self-isolate themselves for at least 14 days and get tested for coronavirus. Parents as well anxiously awaiting an email update from the school as to when it will reopen. Some, though, may choose not to send their children back to school as a precaution.